Lisa.
I just have to giggle.
That's fine. But, is your face protected there?
It is.
Okay.
It is. I'm fine. I've got a super suit on.
A super suit.
Look at this.
Super Lisa.
It looks like it's put together with duct tape there. Are you sure you're safe?
It's kind of a makeshift, but we do our best.
Okay.
What can you say? Now, I am pretty covered, and I feel fairly safe. Actually, this is the thing. Jerry Shaw of the Michiana Beekeepers Association mentioned to me this morning when he saw my outfit, I had mostly black on. And he said, ooh, bees don't like black. It makes them cranky. And I thought, well, that's great. Give me the suit, Jerry. But let's talk about how you got started. Hold on, I have to adjust.
Hey, Lisa, where is his suit?
He's not afraid.
Oh, my.
I asked the same question.
Okay.
I said, Jerry, we should be safe. Where's your suit? And he said, usually I've got a T-shirt on.
Wow.
So, a brave soul. Let's talk about how you got into beekeeping.
Well, there's two main qualifications for being a beekeeper. You have to be rich and dumb. And I'm one of those, I guess. I'm dumb. You have to have an interest in the bees. You have to have a lot of money because they're not cheap to start into. You have to be a nature lover, I guess. You have to love bees and not mind them crawling around all over your body.
Now, these are all hives right here. Am I correct?
Right. These are all hives. Each one's a hive. I think there's 11 of them here.
And they're just sort of starting to wake up. They weren't that active.
They start flying at around 55 degrees. And if this is this afternoon, we'll be standing in a solid black cloud of bees when they come in.
Wow.
So bees are kind of like people. They don't like cold. They don't like
wet, rainy weather.
Huh. So we do have something in common with bees. So there is a, you probably can't see my eyes, there is a bee hierarchy. Explain this to me.
We have three different kinds of bees in the hive. We have queen, which is basically the boss of the hive. She lays all the eggs and she controls the hive. We have the drones, who are the males, and the only function they have basically is to mate with the queen one time. And we have the workers, and there's several different castes of workers. Some of them are house cleaners, some of them are soldiers, some of them are nurse bees, some of them process honey, some of them process pollen. A number of different functions that they serve.
So, okay, let's go back to the drones here. Their sole purpose, hold on. Okay, so their sole purpose in this hive is to mate, and then what happens to them?
They die immediately.
Wow.
That's all it takes. So, you're making pollen here, and what will you do with that pollen?
Pollen, these traps you see along the bottom of the hives are pollen traps, these little red cones coming out. We force the workers to go in there, and they have to climb through a fine mesh to get up to the hive, and that fine mesh pulls the pollen off of their legs. Pollen is probably the best food in the world. It's high in vitamins, minerals. It's very high in protein. You could probably exist on pollen alone. We trap it, freeze it, dry it, clean it, and then hopefully sell it.
So I could eat pollen instead of a vitamin? Is that what you mean? Or
a teaspoonful of pollen each day is equal to a vitamin pill. It's probably better than a vitamin pill.
Wow.
It also helps on your allergies.
Gosh, who knew? Now, who are these? Are these drones? Are these workers flying around down here?
Most of those guys flying around down there are workers. There's an occasional drone down there. I don't see any drones right this moment, but...
They're too busy with the queens.
Well, they only make a queen one time. They do that up in the air, so... They just kind of hang around the hive and eat honey and keep the ladies happy.
Now, is there a group of queens in these, or...?
There's one queen per hive. If you put two queens in there, within about 20 minutes, there will still only be one queen there. One will kill the other.
Wow.
Oh, battle ensues in the hive. Now, coming up in the second hour, we're actually going to take a look into these because we're kind of letting the bees wake up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I didn't want to
are
bother
waking
them
up.
if they're feeling cranky. So they're going to come out in the second hour. We'll take a look inside.
Does
Okay.
Jeff, the cameraman, does he have anything on?
No, Jeff's a scaredy cat. I'm going to go on air. I'm going to say it right now. Jeff is wimpy. He's a nice man. He's a wonderful photog. He's a wimp. He's back. I'm not kidding. He's back all the way in the corner. He's scared.
And he zoomed in on you, huh?
Now, and he even had a suit he could wear, too.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
All right, we'll check in with you second hour. Be careful out there.
I'm going to. Thank you.
I don't blame him.
Wow, he doesn't even wear a suit. How many times do you think he's been stung?
Oh, probably. He probably couldn't count as many times as he's
I
been
know.
stung.
And I'm holding a smoker, something that fills bees' bellies. I'm Lisa Boyle. Stay tuned. Your second hour starts right now.
A South Bend woman had an unusual experience yesterday when she returned to her car after doing
this.
a little shopping. Check this out. As she walked up to her car to find thousands of bees swarming around it, as you can see there. Shoppers say they saw the bees in the parking lot for about 15 minutes before they surrounded her car. Something they liked there, I don't know. After about 45 minutes, a beekeeper was finally called in and took care of that situation. But you gotta wonder, what was it that they liked on her car so much?
I think maybe we can ask our beekeeper
That's right. Maybe
for our live shot here, but I bet maybe a queen bee flew in there or something.
You think?
I don't know. It's
And
just a
if you
guess.
don't
I'm
know
not
what-
a beekeeper.
And if you don't know what that is, we're talking just last hour we learned that there is a queen bee. And there's
That's
only
right.
one in the crowd or something?
Only
or
one, or the other one will kill the other. They fight to the death.
Something
Kind of
like
like
that.
maybe we should try someday. Wake up, fight to the death.
Yeah.
It's Bill versus Kim. Well, before you know it, you're going to be sitting outside and hear the dreaded sound of those bees buzzing all
Yeah,
around.
Just like what you just saw. So, what is the best way to keep them from coming near you? Well, that's what Lisa Boyle is going to find out this morning. She is joining us live from a bee farm, you crazy girl.
We see them.
It's Queen Bee.
Okay. That's Queen Bee to you.
It's
Okay.
Queen Bee, girlfriend. Okay, let's talk about this grocery store incident, because if I walked out into my car and saw these bees, I think I would flip.
Oh, Lisa.
Jerry. This is Jerry, Michiana Beekeepers Association. Real quick, why did all those bees pick that one car?
Basically, when bees swarm, it's their natural method of reproduction. They just divide and don't conquer, but they just plain divide and supposedly keep the species going. When they swarm, they go out and they'll settle on any particular thing, a tree branch, a fence post, in this case a car bumper, and they'll send scouts out from there to find some nice place to live, like a hollow tree, like behind someone's siding, or a beehive if there happens to be one. So as soon as the scouts locate this place, they'll come back, report to the swarm, and the swarm will take off and relocate themselves in a nice warm home.
Wow, so it wasn't the oils or anything?
No oil, no, they're just the way they do. It's just natural instinct.
So what does attract bees? Like, you know, you hear myths about perfumes and hairsprays. Is that true? You should keep those things off your body?
They basically don't like perfume. They don't like the fruity smelling hairsprays or shampoos. That does attract them, and it does. Beekeepers don't wear that.
So I have another question then. Do they die after they sting you?
Yes, when a worker bee stings you, her stinger is made up of 3 portions. 2 of them are barbed and 1 of them is smooth, and there's a muscle sac attached to that, which attaches to the bee's rear end. And when they sting you, they'll twist their body until they tear that loose from their body.
Oh, my.
The sting stays, the bee leaves.
Okay, so by the way, I just saw a stinger because Jerry got stung.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
How
Oh.
many
Yes, he
times
did.
has he been stung?
Stings are not uncommon among beekeepers. It's just,
Especially when you don't want to wear any gloves.
no, I don't. There's certain things you cannot do with gloves.
Oh,
Like
my
you
God.
could not just plain pick up a bee like this if
Don't
you
do
had gloves on.
that.
This is a
Oh,
worker
my.
bee, and notice her rear end is up there ready to sting me, except she can't get to me. I'm
Oh.
holding her so she can't sting me.
Oh,
So
my.
only the workers can sting you and the queen.
Uh-oh.
The queen can sting, but she won't sting you. She'll only sting another queen.
Oh, okay.
Lisa, how many times has he been stung? We're wondering.
This, by the
Jerry,
way,
they're wondering back there, and so was I actually. How many times actually have you been stung?
today or yesterday or in
Oh, my
my...
gosh, we need a
I've
You
already-
calculator.
knew the answer to that question.
Yeah, countless,
I've
right?
been stung 4 or 5 times this morning already. I just got one on my finger just now.
And he didn't even flinch. This man is made of steel.
You don't worry about the stings. If you play with fire, you get burned. If you play with bees, you get stung. So you just, it's part of the business.
Well, let's
Wow.
talk about right here what we're looking at, guys. It kind of smells.
Okay.
It
like
smells
what?
bee-ish. I don't even know what that means. And honestly, I'm kind of getting the willies. So tell me what this is we're looking at.
This area right in here is capped brood. After the queen lays the eggs, the bees will stay there for, the eggs will stay there for 21 days. After they're about 9 days old, they'll cap them with this brownish, papery substance, and after 21 days, the bee inside will be fully developed and she'll emerge. These are worker brood. This is drone brood. It's a lot bigger. Drones are the males. This area over in here is pollen. Pollen they use for their protein source, and honey they use for their carbohydrate source during development.
I wish you guys could see down in here, Jeff, but there's probably about 30,000 bees.
Wow.
I'm looking right down into it.
This area here is capped honey. I don't suppose you can see this on TV, but if you look in this area here, you see honey. It's a shiny substance. It's wet. When they get it, if the moisture evaporated down to about 18%, they'll put a wax cap on top like this.
Yeah, we can see that.
It will stay forever. They found honey in the pyramids, 6,000 years old, that is still edible.
Oh, that's
amazing. Spoil.
So tell me, what is your best advice for someone that has a bee? You see these people that freak out when a bee is in the studio like we did that one day.
Yeah.
What is your best advice if a bee's coming towards you?
Ignore it. It'll probably, if they're away from the hive, they probably will not bother you unless you step on one or you pinch it in some way, if it's on your clothes or on your body. They only defend their hive. They're not defensive when they're out in the studio.
Or in the community.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great.
If you get stung in your yard, it's probably you stung yourself by stepping on a bee, probably.
Oh, yeah.
And Jerry mentioned that people aren't as allergic to bees as they think they are.
Some people are deathly allergic to them, but I think most is fear involved in bee stings.
Definitely. These all have bees in them. Jerry, thank you so much. I have to be honest, I have the heebies, willies, and I gotta come home.
Wow, well, hats off to you. Thanks for doing that.
I'll tell you what, you learn something new every day, and this has been really interesting for me. I never knew that I should be taking pollen as a supplement.
There you go.
Who knew?
You learned something.
I did not know that before I came here.
Thanks, Lisa.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys, see ya.
Wow, he's like, look at these bees here, and we're like...
He held the one up and he got stung by it when he put it back down. That was the one he was saying.
Yeah.
4 or 5 times today.
Got angry. So if you can, like you said, ignore them, though. But like I was saying earlier, that's how I got stung. I tried to pull one out of my hair, and there you go.
So hard to ignore.